Yeah, boy, I tell you what, we are back again. Jay, man. First of all, glad to have you back. You know how it go, man. Glad to see you in the building, man. We gonna get to your training because you had something to do with the halftime show, right? That's what you you was in Atlanta for, right? We, that's what happened. Okay, all right. Well, we gonna keep it going. So as usual, man, we're gonna go ahead and keep it funky, man. We got guests in the building today, and of course, we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl, bro. I mean, Super Bowl, Super Bowl 58 is crazy, and already we got things going on. Get ready for Super Bowl 59. But before we do that, man, let's keep it real. February is Black History Month, and we're gonna go to one of our favorite guests to bring us a little known Black History fact. You might have seen him on TikTok, on your favorite YouTube channel, talking that talk. And we talk about my guy, none other than the undisputed world champ. My guy, champ. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
How you doing this evening, brother?
Man, bro, it's a good one. And we are live and in the building today. Bro, champ, I was checking out your TikTok, bro, and you got an interesting TikTok. Tell me what you saw, what you was talking about when it came to that little known Black History fact about the first African American MVP.
Hey, the first African American MVP was Steve McNair. Wasn't crowned until 2003. And in fact, he wasn't even the first full Black MVP. That did not happen until Cam Newton. He split the MVP with Peyton Manning. He was not the first Black MVP that was a quarterback, I would say. Now, the first ever Black MVP was Joe the Jet Perry with the $1 million backfield back in the San Francisco 49ers, the 49er faithful. Wasn't a good week for him, but for this month, got to take a big shout out to Joe Perry, the first Black MVP. I mean, he had almost 1,200 yards that year with over 18 touchdowns and was crowned the MVP. And he did it with a crowded backfield. Remember the $1 million backfield with Y.E. Tittle and a lot of those backs in there. For him to do it in a loaded backfield like that was nothing short of amazing. But he was the first Black MVP back in 1954, not to mention the first Black NFL MVP that was a quarterback was crowned in 2003. And then Cam, he won it, and he didn't have to split it. So that is awesome. And not only that, man, Patrick Mahomes, only the 7th Black quarterback to play in the Super Bowl, the 3rd to win it, and the 1st to win 3 of them.
Man, look at that, man. Little known Black History fact coming out to you right now. So you might as well go and start the show.
This is Rec Room Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go. We ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic or your boy K Witt. Joe is my coach, T Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fist. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo.
Best intro in history right there.
Boy, let me tell you, when I tell you we got a show for you today, it's so much of a good show. We bought more because it's a super show.
What's up, gentlemen? I do love that intro. That intro goes hard. I like it.
Hey, man. Thank you, man. The funny thing is, the producer of the track is he don't like to say nothing, but he got his hands in a lot of jars. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jay on the MIC or on the MPC at the time for producing the track, man. Thanks again. But hey, everybody, y'all know what time it is, man. It's the Rec Room Sports Show. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Make sure that they know we are in the building once again on a Tuesday evening, a pre-Valentine's Day Eve, so to speak. And today we are going to cover one of the greatest spectacles on earth. Man, Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas was live and direct. But before we get into it, man, I got to make sure I kick it off to my guy. We got my man Jay on the MIC. Jay, what's good? He's there.
What the hell is that?
What? I don't know what happened, Jay. You got the.
What, he turned into
Yes. We got the. Megaton. You on Earth 319? Shout out to Jay. We got.
what the hell is happening
No,
there?
don't forget, we got to kick it. Oh yeah, it's all because of the Deadpool trailer. I'll tell y'all, it's all with Deadpool trailer messed up, shifted the whole multiverse for everybody here at Rec Room Sports. Okay,
Oh,
shout out
man.
to my guy Undisputed Champ from TikTok. Champ, what's good with you?
Man, it's good, man. It's great, man. Thank you for inviting me back, man. Always an honor to be on Rec Room Sports, man. Always an honor, man. Always be honored to be on this show.
Hey man, you give us the honor of being here, bringing the facts with you, man. We gotta give it up to my guy over on the West Coast, our correspondent for the Hawks and everything Washington. Shout out to our guy Bo Krause. Bo, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on. Always love hanging out with you.
Hey man, Dad, we appreciate you, and we got comments already going on. Oh, let's check them out. Shout out to Daniel Berry. What's going on, Daniel? Man, we appreciate you. Yeah, we are in the building. There's no way. Y'all know me, man. It's your boy K. Witch. I was #1 draft pick. You know what I'm saying? We got real special for of course for the Super Bowl. I did a little bit of steaks. Your mama's got an air fryer. So make sure you put it in the air fryer for about like 6 minutes. You don't want it to dry out. And there's some yellow rice in there too. So make sure you heat yourself up. Always eat good after and before the game. Don't drink and drive. Or don't drink and then try to drive like shortly after. Just leave it alone. Just don't mix the two. Anyway, man. So you know what time it is, fellas. We had a Super Bowl for the ages. In my opinion, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't anything that we didn't expect, but it was a good Super Bowl on all fronts. So we're going to talk about it, of course, guys. Super Bowl 58 live from Las Vegas. And as I see here, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. Boop, 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 boop. Coming up next, let's just talk about the before we get to the meat and potatoes. Here goes Jay. I think Jay's on the way back. There he goes. So, as we see here, man, San Francisco 49ers 22, Kansas City Chiefs 25. Who would have thought that this would have been so close of a game? The margin was this thin, razor thin, and somehow, some way, the Kansas City Chiefs end up coming out on top. I think who was it Bo? Bo, did you say that you thought the Chiefs were going to win in the last game? In the last show?
No, so I thought the Niners were going to get it, but I thought it was going to be every bit of this close. I thought it was going to be 23-20.
Yeah, for sure. And I can definitely agree with you. Chap, man, I saw you having many discussions with some of your pundits on your show the other night. Big kudos to you. for the Undisputed World Champ Go podcast going on about 3-4 weeks. I'll be checking you out. I get the notifications, man. So when you were looking just around the spectacle of itself, did you see the game itself coming out to be something so close, 22-25, an overtime game at that? Did you think it was going to be that way?
Honestly, I cannot say I did. On paper, the 49ers were the better team. But, in the great words of Monica, we should have known better than to bet against Patrick Mahomes. So you got to think to yourself, like, I didn't think it was going to be this close, and I didn't think it was going to be that low scoring of a game. I thought we was going to at least get into the 30s with, the Niners coming out on top. But, kudos to Patrick Mahomes, man. He proved that once and for all, he's top 3 quarterback of all time, man.
Hey. And bro, we definitely gonna get into the quarterback debate about Mahomes. Shout out to DJ NC Stephon Daniels. Steph, what it do, boy? You know what I'm saying? And Steph says it's entertainment. It entertained the mess out of me. I can't even lie to you. Jay, are you there? You got your vocals
they had
up?
the Wild Wings remote. They had the Wild Wings remote. We went to overtime and everything.
Y'all remember that movie that Hulk Hogan played in back in the
Right. It was great. Listen, I in my mind. Wait. I think
Getting abducted by aliens? Like, what is happening?
Through from the multiverse. Jay, are you there? Okay. It's
You know what he sounds like, actually? He sounds like the parents in Peanuts.
Somehow, some way. Jay's having just a little bit of technical difficulty.
You remember that movie with the Undertaker and the Hulk Hogan in there?
Yeah, it's just a smidgen of technical difficulty.
Your mind, Randy.
I don't know. I think he's gonna make it back. Crazy, right?
Hey, it gets us all. I had one.
Yeah, sounded like Charlie Brown teacher. Yeah, I see that stuff. Like I don't.
Oh man.
It comes and it goes. So hopefully Jay will get his sound right, and he'll be back on the stream shortly. Let's just give him a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving, guys. Of course, as we're talking, really when we think about it, this is one of those really easy questions that we all kind of have answered on numerous occasions. I know Champs addressed it. I know Bo has addressed it, but we're going to do it for the guests here today. Did Shanahan choke, or is Andy Reid that damn good, man? Let's go ahead and throw it to Champ first. Champ, what you think about that one?
I've said this on several occasions. There's nothing wrong with running into a dynasty. We've seen some of the greatest coaches of all time run into dynasties. We saw it with Bud Grant. We saw it with Marv Levy. We even saw it with John Madden. And we saw it with Bill Cowher. So there's no harm in running into a dynasty. You gave it all you had. You had a lot of good play from your team. You didn't run it at the most opportunistic time, but you, for lack of a better term, you did everything you could. And for all the talking heads on television saying that he should have deferred it in overtime, that is flat out preposterous. Why would you give Patrick Mahomes a chance to run down the field and score a touchdown, and then you have to go and top that with the way things were going in that game? That is flat out preposterous, and I don't understand why you would even say this. That is just – I don't understand why people are saying that. I believe some of these guys on television are really just talking to be talking, because there's no – in the great words of Anita Baker, there's no way in the world that you're going to do something like that. No way in the world. Because why would you give them the ball to start off overtime, knowing that Patrick Mahomes is capable of going out there and scoring a touchdown like that, knowing he's capable of scoring a touchdown in the New York minute and could take his Texas time doing it. So for them to keep saying that is ludicrous. Not only that, not to mention this, the main mistake that Kyle Shanahan made that really eventually cost him the game was this. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes left in the game. Chiefs only have 2 timeouts. And you are inside the 35. 34, run the ball to the left side with Trent Williams. Run it to the ball. You have the best back in the league with Christian McCaffrey. If I could point to one mistake that I could say that cost Kyle Shanahan the game, it was that right there. Because you had the 2-minute warning already. The Chiefs only have 2 timeouts left. You get that first down, or either go for it, or either treat it as 4-down territory. You already got the win right there. And even if you don't get it on that first one, you're in 4-down territory. You could go ahead and try to run it again. That is the one thing that I could say that messed up the game for Kyle Shanahan. But to say that he should have deferred in overtime, I don't think anybody in their right mind is crazy enough to do that. But if I could get another opinion on it, that'll be appreciated as well.
Yeah, so I'm with you. You absolutely don't give them the ball first. One, they just marched right down the field and kicked a field goal to tie the game up, right? They had an 11-play drive. Your defense is going to be kind of gassed after that at the end of the game. So you take the ball, give your defense the time to rest. Plus, you go down, you score, you apply pressure to that team. Now, I get the idea of if you go second, you know that everything is 4-down territory. I mean, I guess that's true. But at the same time, with the new rules, is if you go down and score and your defense does its job, which it did most of the day, if you can hold them to a field goal, now it goes back to the way the rules used to be. You get the ball, and no matter how you score, you win. So you want that ball first in overtime now, because that third possession is the possession that matters, right? That first possession, you got to do something with. Your defense needs to be able to keep them to whatever it is you do. And then that third possession, that's how you win the game. So I actually didn't mind them getting the ball. One of the things that probably really led to them losing more than anything was the fact that they gave CMC 3 carries in the third quarter, which is absolutely insane to me. And it's something which is why Kyle Shanahan is getting so much hate in this area, is he's lost 3 Super Bowls with double-digit leads. And in each one of them, he abandoned the run with the lead and just started chucking the ball around. Now, with conventional wisdoms, right, you have the lead, you have a star running back, and you want to chew up clock. What type of play do you call? Pass plays ain't it. You're going to use that running back that's been getting you 4 to 6 yards a carry.
So listen, in my mind, that was one of those, hey, didn't you try this before moments? Wait a minute. You know, I felt as if Shanahan should have had, you know, just a little bit of clairvoyance. Okay, hey, look, you know, Tom was this good, and I let it slip away. Like, but I can't get mad at one of the things I'm going to be honest about, because I got to be honest with myself. I hear everybody making all that rant about, you know, deferring in the overtime period, yeah. And I'm like, bro, this is Patrick Mahomes. I need to strike now. I don't care. Letting him score would put everything in the opposite direction, in my opinion. You know, if I'm calling the plays, but to me, this was an opportunity for the 49ers had it in that grasp, and I know that it made the other the guys on the bench who didn't get an opportunity to try and go back out there and stop them on the defensive end, and on offense. You know, it hurt. It killed them. You know what I mean? But you know, before I get too ahead of myself, Let's see if Jay's back. Jay, we trying to do the sound again? Are you there, bro?
All right. So how am I doing?
Sound good?
Great.
You sound like a human.
All right. So I'm thinking, and here I am. I'm being old. I think I had to do an update.
Mm.
So I'm in the middle of that now. But I'm sorry, y'all. I would have deferred. I would have deferred. As soon as they took the ball, I was like, I don't know, man. Something doesn't feel right about taking the ball in this situation right now. I would have deferred because I can kind of count on my defense to at least let a field goal, give up a field goal, and all I got to do is score and I win. Or my defense could shoot, I could get a pick six, I could get a turnover in this. I in the college rules, so to say, I'm with deferring. I don't know. I was thinking the whole time when we were walking back off the field to start up, I was like, I don't think that's the smartest thing in this situation. And as far as Shanahan, with Shanahan, I mean, he did it again. He did it again. But he actually had the quarterback. He actually had the quarterback to execute. It's just that just some unfortunate events, kind of, hurt him. I don't know. I just really feel like Purdy, Garoppolo, he missed that pass, along with a couple other things. And of course, we could say, no, he didn't run the ball. He did not run the ball. But he actually had a quarterback that I don't know, man. Shanahan's ego, man, is always that X factor to me. Anytime he's in a big game, it's that ego of his. Like, if I got a quarterback that'll execute the way that I want him to, and he can actually pull these plays off, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And you can't argue with him. It just didn't work out for him. Yeah, a lot of things he could have did different, but chose not to.
Can I ask a question to the panel at this point right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the the Mike Shanahan offense predicated off the run? Either that or either I'm tripping about it, because the thing is, last I checked, he turned that system itself turned some of the most mediocre backs into superstars. When you think about Mike Anderson, who was in the Marine Corps before he even came to the NFL and ran for 1,500 yards. When you think about Orlando Gary, when you think about Reuben Drones, just to name a few. And then when he finally gets a superstar running back between Terrell Davis and Clinton Portis, then Mike Shanahan, arguably two of the best rushing seasons you ever want to have with Terrell Davis. So for Kyle Shanahan not to be using his father's offense, the zone blocking version of the West Coast offense, to run the ball when we have the second coming of Marshall Faulk, Roger Craig 3.0, is flat out ridiculous. You have the best back in the league. This guy's gone for 2,000 yards from scrimmage, scored 21 touchdowns. The last three guys that did that won a Super Bowl. When you think about that, think about Marshall Faulk, Emmitt Smith, and Marshall Faulk, Emmitt Smith, last two guys that ran for had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, had over 21 touchdowns. They won Super Bowls, and they was the focal point. Terrell Davis as well. Those three guys who had the most yards from scrimmage, they went and won Super Bowl. And was a key factor in the game. So for you not to use your greatest asset, which is your running back, in a zone blocking system version of the West Coast offense, completely designed in order to make the average running back better, when you have arguably the greatest versatile running back we've probably ever seen in modern day history, I have to question, what is your major malfunction? I have to question that, because every year since I've been watching football, When somebody say they playing the zone blocking scheme, I'm automatically thinking this running back fit at least get 1,300. I don't care who he is. He's going to at least get 1,300. And I'm just talking rushing yards. I'm not talking about what he's doing as far as all purpose. He's going to at least get 1,300 and at least get double-digit touchdowns. So when you have a back like Christian McCaffrey, and even when we had Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman was a scat back. Both of those running backs did the rush for 1,000 yards.
Alfred Morris.
Each time you had the tools in order to win for a perfect offense, for a perfect situation. And the Kansas City Chiefs is weak against what? The run. So for you to have that perfect situation and you not to utilize it to your – if I was Kyle Shanahan, I'm letting Christian McCaffrey know before the game, hey, get ready to run till you tuck, get ready to be huffing and puffing by the end of the game. Because you finna run this ball because you finna get this ball at least 30 times.
And to your point, if you want to put that slide up, you'll see exactly why you should have used CMC.
Yeah.
It went. You see you see that slide there?
Yep.
If you pop that up, look at these stats on it.
Slide. Hold on. Yes. Ooh.
Should have been using
Interesting.
CMC.
Right. Interesting that we bring up the Purdy and Garoppolo stat. And this is one of those things too, right? I'm glad you brought this up, Bo, so that we can look at it. You know, we're not going to slander Brock Purdy here today. This is not a slander moment.
He's a good quarterback.
Brock Purdy. He's a good quarterback. Come on.
Exactly.
He's good. Nothing's wrong with being good. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But is he like elite quarterback status?
No.
You know?
I don't think anybody's saying he is. Well, I mean, some people are, but they're delusional. But
it comes a time where you have to stop even asking the most elite quarterbacks in order to do too much. I mean, when it gets to a point where you have an all elite running back and your statistics and your history backs up you going to the left side, well, arguably one of the best offensive tackles of all time in Trent Williams. Every time you go to that left side, you're getting at least 3 to 4 yards.
He was getting worked though.
So
he was getting worked a little bit.
Yeah, he was getting worked, but like I said, at least CMC his averages on that game was 3.6 yards a carry. So you at least getting 3 when you run to his side, right, if not 4. So for it to be 3rd and 4 and you trying to get cute and run a bootleg option pass to the right-hand side when you know they keying in on Deebo Samuels and Brandon Ayuk, not to mention George Kittle was invisible during that game.
Man, it was a jailbreak on the right side.
So
yeah, and that's one of those things that happens in the Shanahan script. You know that it's one of those things that is bound to happen. Like you keep playing with fire, and every time it's always something in different capacities. A missed block or a fumble or overthrown pass. He keeps playing with fire rather than just run the ball and maybe those fumbles from earlier, with Pacheco, maybe he was in the vibe of, okay, I'm just gonna stick to my game plan. But since he's been in Houston, it's been the same thing. He's always been pass happy. He's always been pass happy.
When he gets pass happy is when it doesn't make sense, though. He'll get the lead, and when it's time to protect the lead, that's when he's like, you know what? We're just not going to run anymore. That's where it doesn't make any sense. Like if he was pass happy to start and then had to go back to the run, I could even get with it, right? But if you are run heavy and you're playing play action off of it and you're playing complementary football, and then you're like, cool, I got a lead. I am going to become as one-dimensional as possible. Is asinine. Like I don't and he waits until the biggest games, right? Like he's lost championship games that way, he's lost Super Bowls that way. It's like, dude, what are you doing? At the same time, though, you can't fire him because you are constantly in the championship game and Super Bowl.
Listen, and for me,
you'll accidentally win
and for me, one of the big things was, okay, so Shanahan is known for some really cool offensive plays, but he does them at really odd times. This is one of them that I was like, man, he's a genius. They're not expecting this, but then it looked so bad, but I was so happy that it worked out. Okay, not this one, not this play that I'm showing here. I believe it's the next one. We'll get to it, of course. It's the flea flicker. It goes from one to it go, and then somehow, some way, Christian McCaffrey just cuts through like 9 people. But it was one of the better plays of the half. It was the first touchdown scored by Kansas City, and yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, we didn't see this coming, and then bam, down the field goes.
And you also see that illegal man downfield, right there with him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. When it came time to do something, he has a bright spot of genius at least twice in the game. When he was calling, normally when they might do one of these bootlegs, one of these end arounds, one of the jet sweeps, and he has that kind of timing where it seems to work for him. But in this game, this one game where you're playing against one of the best offensive minds and one of the best quarterbacks, I think we should just dumb it down and stick to the basics. Like Bo said, we got CMC. Why not use that? And obviously when he had the ball, he was dynamic just about every time we touched the football.
The thing that's funny with Kyle Shanahan is he goes from being this offensive genius that everybody lauds him out to be. And then in a championship game, he becomes the Bud Light real men of genius, right? That is doing the dumbest stuff ever.
Real man of genius.
Exactly.
I forgot about those commercials, yo. Like,
that's a good one, though. Listen. Yeah, right. I should have found that for the clip real quick. When one of the other things I wanted to highlight too, and because it's oftentimes not a huge part of the Kansas City game, but it was there, it was evident. The Kansas City defense was playing out of their minds, 1-for-1 game, and everybody remembers the beginning of the season. The Daniel Jones holdout. With this type of ending, does this type of ending make that whole moment? Oh, he's not coming. He praying, he practicing. Then he comes back, signs. They win that first game. Does that like solidify his greatness, so to speak? Because I mean, now it's worth it, right? We won a Super Bowl after he forced everybody's hand, right?
Man, you talking about Daniel Jones and the damn Super Bowl, man? That's the funny part.
That's all right. We got the Super Bowl ring for Shanahan right here. Eminem sponsored it and everything.
And oh my God.
Listen, it's go. My joint is, I don't know now. My eyes is going in and out. I'm like, what happened? Who do we?
I gave you another slide.
Does it make sense defensively? Oh, you go ahead. Go. Where is it?
There it is. Almost champions.
Oh man,
my.
that's messed up.
Hey, I got to talk a little bit because they're in our division.
Wow, bro.
I mean, dang, bro, that's how you feel.
Wow.
Hey, you never want someone in your division hanging a banner on you.
Right now.
Wow. I mean, I feel the same way. I really feel the same way. We definitely gonna get a little bit more into that later. But I don't know, man. Shanahan, he's cursed. Man. He's cursed by his own. Yeah, I know who you meant, man, but it was just funny. Uh-oh.
Yeah, y'all
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh man. Yes, Tanner. Yes, we know, Tanner. We know you're still partying, still. Shout out to Tanner. We got to look for Tanner in the parade. I know he's not going to work. He's going to be at the parade. We got to make
I
sure
know
we check for
somebody
Tanner
that's
in the parade.
flying across country to get to this parade, and it's just a travesty, man. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Oh, this is perfect time. Perfect time to go fly across the country, man. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Your team wins. But to still yet, like, okay, NFC teams. What did you say, Tan? What did you say? Here he goes. NFC team, you picked an NFC team. Oh man, see, we don't woke Tanner up now. We don't woke Tanner up. But
I'm waiting. I want to see what else comes in.
man, but yeah, still yet in the end. Oh yeah, still yet in the end. Kansas City's defense actually doing way more than we thought. Like I said, Chris Jones, excuse me for calling him Daniel, not talking about Danny Dimes. Chris Jones hold out at the beginning of the season. Like, does this make sense now that, of course, they somehow managed to tighten the grasp at the last second on the 49ers? Oh man.
Taylor Swift concert, man.
You have to say yes because even Mike Tirico, he said he even put an asterisk on it when they lost against the Detroit Lions. I remember he said that live on television. I mean, he said you got to put an asterisk next to this victory that the Lions have obtained today because they were missing their All-Pro tight end and their All-Pro defensive tackle. So that makes it all the more worth it. And that contract about to expire this year. So you can best believe he finna go do the Johnny Manziel, say, hey, we just won another Super Bowl. You want to go for that three-peat? In the great words of Scott Hall from WCW, tell Billionaire Hunt to break out the money. So that's all.
Definitely, man. I mean, you got to pay the man, Bo. I know you're normally an offensive guy. Not just Chris Jones, but the rest of the defense as well in Kansas City. What do you think of their job? Because of course everybody shines a light on Mahomes, but Kansas City did get a chance to play some good defense during the Super Bowl. Tell me about that.
I mean, so for me, I'm actually a defensive guy. So I liked what I saw out of KC. So, but yeah, I mean, they gotta secure what it is they have because they don't have the star power on the offensive side of the ball. So you can do a lot of things with Mahomes, but you gotta keep as much of this defense as you can, and then they're going to have to find a receiver that can reliably catch the ball.
I think it's going to be real easy for him this year, Mr. Bo, because Patrick Mahomes is about to take a pay cut. I mean, well, he's about to reconstruct his contract, so that's going to be easier for him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah, shout out to Bo. Of course, on his TikTok, he did put up the rumor that it's a possibility that Patrick Mahomes is looking, or that the front office and Patrick Mahomes is looking to possibly restructure his deal. I did do my research and see that there was a possibility. I'm going to be honest with you. When I think about it, it's what makes sense. You want to go for the third. You want guys like Chris Jones, not Daniel Jones, on your team. You're going to take a pay cut. And the thing is, in reality, the money that they gave him during that first big wallop has been put into things that are getting him an ROI, which is like a return on investment. like the Kansas City Royals, which he is a minority stakeholder in. I think I can go ahead and take 10, 15 away because Kansas City is going to be good. I'm going to get that money from Kansas City or whatever else he may have a pot in, a hand in, because I'm really thinking that, rings. Yeah, endorsements, you know what I'm saying? Listen, the State Farm commercials, shout out to, we're going to talk about the commercials too. Shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the State Farm commercials are paying them too. So, I mean, to lose 10, 15, maybe it's probably no more than 10 to 15 million, out of that contract and get it supplemented in other places. I don't think that that's a false.
Uh-oh. They can't both go down.
No. Well, I'm still here. I'm actually just. I want to say maybe narrative is what he was about to say. One of them days, bro. I'm telling you.
I had that on Friday. I actually, in the middle of a show, had to restart my computer.
Well,
it's got to be a drag.
Oh man, it was so bad. It was a 2-hour show. I had fully dropped out of the show 10 times at least.
Hey, did you see what the young lady put in the chat? Where did y'all get y'all internet from?
T-Mobile. Hey, and I'm telling you, well, we definitely. Oh. Hey,
there we go.
There you go.
Oh, two of them.
He's two wits. Wow, man,
you know crazy. What? Yeah, I know, right? we got multiple wit right now is happening. Okay, multiple angles. There we go. All right. All right. We got it working out. So what was the last thing y'all heard?
Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Jones, not Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones, not Daniel Jones. We all know about that. Right now is one of those situations where Patrick Mahomes restructures his contract, takes less money, gives some of it to Chris Jones because, of course, he deserves it. Other players possibly are going to want to be signed to Kansas City just for the prospect of winning a Super Bowl. I mean, it only makes sense if you mean to do the Tom Brady for me. Do the Tom Brady just for
if I'm Patrick Mahomes this year, I'm taking my salary all the way down to $10 million. I'm finna go side everybody. T. Higgins about to be a free agent. Mike Evans about to be a free agent. I want them all. Let's go out there. I'm trying to put up 60 this year. So, people don't even realize they got $50 million in cap space too. So on top of him restructuring his contract, they got some. And then there's no telling who they're gonna draft. It would just be real cool if they just traded 1, 2, and 3 to go up and get Malik Neighbors or Maserati and Marv. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
Ooh. Boy, listen, I mean, in real life, the opportunity to trade players away to get a Marvin Harrison with Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, we did it with Julio Jones.
Yeah,
this is true.
Atlanta did it with Julio Jones.
What's over here on the thing? I got baby stuff over here in the camera now, man. My bad.
I'm trying to love this show. It's authentic.
Yeah, that's why I always use the other angle in my house. But anyway, on top of everything else, bro, I'm really feeling that they're going to try to make a push not only on the offensive end but the defensive end as well. Several players are going to be highly sought after on the defensive end this year. And of course, Champ, once again, I saw you mention a couple guys. One of them is in Jacksonville, possibly, to be sent in places like Chicago and whatnot. Like this is one of those times where I don't like the fact that the Chiefs are good. Like I don't like it. I don't like the fact that their home office, their front office is all in one accord and they can make sound decisions. So I mean they're becoming even more dangerous if Patrick Mahomes restructures that deal.
I mean, it's safe to say that the Chiefs organization has always been a high class organization. They just haven't had the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't had a real quarterback since, ironically, Joe Montana, to be honest with you. I mean, they haven't had a quarterback. I mean, I'm talking about that air specialty guy who you could just hand the ball to in the fourth quarter and say, hey, get us down the field. I mean, they had Trent Green since then. They had Irvis Gerback. They've had, I don't know if anybody even remembers this guy, but me and my dad used to talk about him all the time. They had David Craig at one point. It was just a revolving door at their quarterback position because they had great players. They had the great Derek Thomas, Priest Holmes. I mean, they had Neil Smith. They had Kevin Ross, Albert Lewis. They had a plethora of good players. They've always been a good high-class organization. It's just they lacked the quarterback in order to get them there. I mean
Alex Smith played well. Alex Smith played well there.
I mean, but he wasn't that guy. He's not the guy that I'm finna hand the ball to and say, "Hey, man, I'm down a touchdown. If you don't score this touchdown, I'm not gonna make it out of this stadium." I'm not gonna hand him the ball.
He falls solidly in that Jimmy G type of range, right? Like he is that kind of guy, right? Like he can win you a lot of games. He's just probably not going to win you the big game.
Yeah, and for that franchise to have so much pain over the course of the last couple of decades, for them not to win with Priest Holmes, Derek Thomas, for them to make it to the AFC Championship in '92, to fall to the Buffalo Bills at a certain point, for them to have several number one seeds in the '90s and win more games in the '90s than the Cowboys. Ironically, they won more games in the '90s than the Cowboys did during their reign. And for them not to have a championship during that time, that had to be painful for that organization. And to lose Priest Holmes, who was the cornerstone, and to have all those good players and not win one during that time, it's a lot of pain for that organization. And for them to become a solidified dynasty is real good for that organization right now.
Hey, man. Somebody said Trent Green was pretty good. Yeah, dude. Serviceable. That's a good word. He was a serviceable quarterback. And shout out to Trent Green, man. You know what I'm saying? He took a lot of flack for holding Kurt Warner's success up, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving, man. We doing great. Don't forget, everybody, like, share, and subscribe. This is the Rec Room Sports Podcast. We do this on Tuesdays. Shout out to Jay, you know what I'm saying, for holding us down and making it back from his hiatus where he was retooling his skill set. We'll talk more about that shortly. Shout out to Bo. Don't forget, everybody, Football Talk with Bo on Roku TVs, not just on your internet, okay? And don't forget, we got the Undisputed World Champ, who has a podcast on YouTube on Thursdays. It has 1 million. You got 1 million TikTok followers yet? 1 million likes on TikTok. I know you got shout out to both.
And what, you hit 16K, right? Followers.
I just hit 16K last week.
See, that's what's up.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.
So we're talking milestones on this one, most definitely. Now, just to take a quick break from the seriousness of talking Super Bowl stuff, guys, we're gonna talk about something that was on the minds of pretty much everybody. What was going to happen when the ads start to run? Like what, who, where, when, why? Like what? And to me, once again, and to several people who might not be as interested into or invested into the game, like the commercials, bro. The commercials.
Yep.
Like Temu had, I swear, like 5 commercials, bro. I never knew they had that much money. These people are lying to me and you. If they saying they're getting it from Amazon, they're really buying it from Temu. Because I swear to God, they had about 4 commercials, bro.
Right, and it's $7 million a piece.
Ew.
Wow. Yeah, $7 million for 30 seconds.
$7 million. 7 million.
And then like the commercial after halftime, it's like 25 million or something like that.
Ew.
Right.
It used to go for that years ago. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, like the commercial after the Super Bowl. I mean, commercial after halftime, and then the commercial at the start of the fourth quarter. or something like that. It is like the most expensive, something crazy. It's wild.
That is insane.
I mean, and we all saw a little bit of everything for the Super Bowl commercials, man. You know, one of my favorite memories, like forever, is like the Budweiser horses, the Clydesdales.
Yeah.
You know, they always got one somewhere. But Jay, you brought it up. The Budweiser Bud Light Genie.
Nah, the Bud Light Genie was me. That's the best. That was the best commercial from the whole day. Was just the whole everything they were doing, and then they're like, "Yo, I want to go to the Super Bowl," and then you come from the commercial, and they're actually there at the Super Bowl with the genie, everybody, all the characters, everybody in the commercial. That you can't. We've seen that before in another aspect, like say like a State Farm commercial, and then they show State Farm guy, you know, but to actually make it interact with the game and say, I wish I go to Super Bowl, and then they're right there, and then you know that hands down to me, that's it, hands down, that was the best commercial to me.
Yeah, that one was pretty great. The M&M's one where I snagged the ring, that one was pretty great, and then the Dunkin' Donuts one was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was my answer.
Yeah,
that was my answer. And let's not forget, I'm a nerd, so you know the Deadpool commercial, man.
Ooh, the Deadpool commercial.
I'm a nerd, so you know you got to go with Deadpool.
Yeah, listen, the Deadpool commercial, and then another one I thought was cool was the FanDuel Tom Brady can't win anymore.
That was funny. That was funny.
They banned him from the casino.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, Tom Brady can't win anymore. Like that's
like what?
Yeah, you won enough, Tom. Like that was I thought that was a pretty much a cool one right there.
That was pretty great.
Yeah, the Dunkin' Donuts, man, was something. I think that was pretty special too, man. And him in the corner, Tom Brady playing, he like what he called touchdown Tommy or something like that.
Down our picks.
I was like, yo, because it was funny. It was funny. I'm snickering, but when I see him in the corner, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this commercial was crazy.
Yeah, they were dropping real money there.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely dropping real money on these. Like this is what I was thinking. Like, how are they coming up with this? And who got? I saw Dan Marino in about 3 commercials. That was another one I thought about. I was like, Dan Marino is out here getting that paper up right now. Okay, in my opinion, this was kind of funny. The
Oreos,
the Oreos was kind of funny. Left to right, which side? You know what's going to happen? Is it good or is it bad? I thought that was a good one too.
I like that too.
Yeah, they snuck. Look like they snuck in a good one, a couple good ones on us. And I listen, man. I don't care what anybody says. Beyonce somehow, some way, even though a lot of the Super Bowl was about Usher, okay, a lot of the Super Bowl was about Usher. Beyonce still found a way to steal like the second half, like after the dancing was over with, Beyonce stole everything away just to say, hey, you know what? Don't forget about me over here. Let's go ahead and download this. And this was another one, right? So immediately, y'all and everybody, you know, everybody knows me what time it is with me and like aliens. Immediately on TikTok, everybody was like, see, this is how they're gonna get us. They got these commercials where it looks too plain, it looks too cool, and they go slide some aliens in on us one of these days. Look at this. But you know, hey, it is what it is. You know, if you know our government, you know they're gonna slide something on us eventually, though. So don't be surprised. Okay, just don't be. Man, but once again, bro, the Super Bowl was a spectacle all in itself, from top to bottom. And then, of course, how can we go talk about the commercials without mentioning the halftime show itself? Okay, I don't know about you, but okay, Usher. Okay,
this is going.
Yes, but Usher brought Atlanta to Las Vegas. Okay, but he turned Las Vegas to the A as he stated in multiple occasions. I'm talking about cameos from some of our favorite artists of our time period. The children ain't had no idea what was going on, but all the grown-ups did. Okay.
You're right.
All right. All the
The,
grown-ups did.
the string of pole dancers that were around the edge of the around the edge of the stage is like, oh, okay.
You know,
Dollar bills, yo.
you know that there's a guy, there's a guy that we can thank for that. You know,
He's out there with the squeegee buffing them things up.
Unfortunately, look, check this out. I told him it wouldn't work.
Oh,
Man, somebody's gonna fall. I don't know about this. Somebody's gonna fall. So y'all caught that? Did y'all catch the young lady?
Oh, one of them
falling?
fall? I didn't see it.
I caught
yeah,
it.
it was
Yeah.
one slipped. It was one slip. It was one slip.
Yeah. Technicality, she took a dive. Now I can't recall who it was that time. I think it was like an All-Star weekend, Super Bowl weekend, and that young lady like plummeted like 30-something feet or something like that.
Oof.
And she had like
swan with the half gainer.
Right?
Yeah, and they put out like a GoFundMe. I mean, she fell like 30 feet or something like that. Like, she went viral, like very famous for what she did. And I mean, you could see her clear as day, like boom. But fortunately for the young lady in the Super Bowl halftime show, I want to say she probably maybe like 10 feet or less than 10 feet. You know,
bones will break your bones, but a 90-foot fall will kill y'all.
Yeah, that's right. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're going to break the fall. It'll be cool.
It panned out, but yeah, you do catch somebody just boom. I'm talking about like dropping straight down.
Well, and of course, that was at the edge of the stage, right? So if you did it at the wrong spot, you just like bounce into the people down on the ground.
Somebody caught it.
Somebody caught it. Yeah. Listen, and for me, and I'm gonna say this because it was really going down like when he came back and like he pulled out he had the skates. Okay. I don't know how you get that choreography together, but God dog, it's got to be some tough choreography on the skates, okay? And I'm just being real about that because I can skate and I don't know about dancing and skating, okay? That's something else.
That's an Atlanta thing. And I never, ever, many times I've ever been invited to go skate. I never did. I never was into that, but. It's definitely a big culture out there, man. Different culture with the skating. Almost everybody can skate in Atlanta. Seems like.
Yeah, that you just listen. It's a like you said, it's a cultural thing. They had the movie ATL, of course.
Let me ask you this because I guessed wrong initially. Did y'all think Jermaine Dupri was CeeLo? Because when I first panned on him, right? Like when they first panned across him, I'm like, is CeeLo out there? Like that's crazy. And then I looked close. I was like, oh, that's Jermaine Dupri. But I mean, for real, he looked exactly like CeeLo before they zoomed in on him.
Yeah, he had that Beethoven outfit on. I saw that. So
right.
Yeah, listen, and Jermaine Dupri's socks were like the 6th most Google thing all night long. I found that out. I was gonna bring that up. I'm glad you brought that up. But the 6th most Googled thing that night, I swear, like 15 million Google searches for the socks in general.
The Beethoven 5s.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, he made an impression.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know that was Will.i.am in the Tron outfit. From Black Eyed Peas. I didn't know that. And I feel, and this is me. I feel like Cat Williams said Ludacris' name enough times where he was like, you know what, I'm gonna show y'all.
Okay, so let's go ahead to this little situation here.
Uh-oh.
So I was so focused on, it's like, damn, there are other people in that stadium. You know, that's how I was thinking. Like, wow, they're really they're really enjoying this. You know, this performance. And I'm speaking of I mean, damn, dog. Like, if your wife, let's just put it like this. Let's just ask the question. Just gonna
Uh-oh.
I knew it
put
was
this
headed
question.
here.
I knew who's gonna get this.
If I don't know if you catching the end of this performance and your wife is getting hugged like that, what are you thinking? Are you thinking for the money, baby? Like, do it for the money, like so, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And what I mean is that, like, that, I hate to say it, like that pimp life. You know what I mean? You like go out there and like,
That
you know what I'm
Goldie,
saying?
that Goldie and Ron O'Neal.
Yeah. Hey, you got it all day. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, was he on that, or or was he thinking, like, like, that's my wife, dude. That's my wife. Like, yo, what you doing?
I think
wonder.
since we're going through the soundboard, Usher was thinking, if I only had more time.
Right. There we go. Hey, listen. That's how you know you brought the show, bro.
You wrong for that.
That's how you know you brought the show.
That's definitely, yeah.
Hey.
I mean, that's what
That's
I was
what
thinking.
we
I was
do.
like, yo, it's over. It's over. Like, what's that show? It's oh man, there's so many shows where somebody has to be talked off the ledge. Like, yo, calm down. Whoa, calm down. Calm
Right.
down. Oh, Martin. He always said, yo, bro, man, yo, chill. Like, chill. He be like, chill. He tell somebody to chill. But I'm thinking to myself, like, is this that mom? I'm looking like, yo, man, this is on TV, y'all. Everybody's watching, y'all.
I mean, if we're keeping it with Martin, though, because soon as he wrapped her up like that, I was like, damn, Gina.
You mean this pose? This
Yeah, I was like, whoa. It was like, please be over. Like, end this.
Like,
Turn the
this
lights off.
motion It was just this motion, ha ha, yee hee hee. And then they immediately cut to JD. That's right.
Yeah, like, that was almost like, yeah, that was like, was that what I thought it was? Like,
Now,
how
see,
her, yeah, that's, ooh.
I don't
There's
know
a
if
reason
y'all,
they
and I
didn't turn
don't-
the lights off.
listen, and I don't know if y'all are aware, but this is what broke up Keke Palmer's relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Usher going to embrace Keke Palmer at his residency, and Keke Palmer's then boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever, went off, and everybody paid attention to him for like a week, and they got a divorce and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like,
Nah,
he's emotionally
nah.
insecure.
I mean,
I would like to compare the footage of both.
Okay.
And Keke Palmer
Uh-oh.
Keke Palmer wanted that smoke. Keke Palmer, well, friend, she was like, this is my birthday. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? Usher was like, nah, come from behind that piano and give me some. Like, that was what Usher was on. Usher was like, yo, come from behind that piano. Come from around that piano. I gotta watch it again. I gotta watch it again.
You gotta watch Keke Palmer again, because
No, I'm talking about us. Like, it looked like how she came around the piano, how she comes around from around the piano, and they embrace, and they're like, oh wow, see, there's a difference.
Then she got the see-through outfit on.
That's the difference.
That's
See,
balls.
this is
like
this
Usher
is
was
Keke
like,
Palmer fresh off of a baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, Usher was like, oh, so she really on it tonight. You know what I mean? Super Bowl, Usher was like, come from around that piano, and let you know what I'm saying. And let me see what you got on. Like see us.
Kiki Palmer ain't playing around. See this shot right here. Kiki Palmer not playing around. Not a Rec Room Sport. We talking Rec Room Sports in life today. Okay, in life.
We're talking a different sport.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if y'all saw.
I think Ron O'Neal the coach on this one.
Listen, I'm telling you, the whole internet was like, young man, Kiki Palmer is out of a marriage because of you. Okay, I'm telling you, and it was great. But like, you know, one more thing. I got, if I can find it, because I'm gonna laugh. Oh, yep, and of course, it's you know, the second thing I see right here. If I could just bring this up for a second, hold on.
All right.
Hold on, man. You push that button, man. You be kicking me out, dude. That's what I started noticing, man. Like,
oh man, I didn't. You know, these are new. We got newfangled tools here. Okay,
We got the new bells and whistles.
right. We got new bells and whistles. We playing with things here. But look, if everybody remembers, you know, a certain show called The Boondocks. Okay, we already heard. Wait
a minute. I can't even let you get it out.
We already knows. We already know what happened to Tom and Usher, okay? Tom lost his whole girl to Usher, okay? You know, Huey and Riley had that whole conversation where, you know, if you're gonna lose your girl, you might as well lose it to somebody real like T.I. But bruh, that's Usher, okay? And then in the end, this is exactly what happened. Tom had to go and sing "Let It Burn" in the mirror. Look out, see, there you go, right there. This is even the cartoon looks like it, bruh.
I mean,
damn, sent him to the mirror. Yeah, you send you to the mirror, man. That's a pretty deep.
Interesting fact about Usher is he played Sugar Ray Leonard in Manos de Piedra.
Oh yeah. And,
I mean, he was swollen up in there too, so
yeah,
it was crazy.
It was a good. He did a good job too. He did a really good job.
He did a real good job.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty much okay.
He came out there. That looked like them pajamas that Jim Carrey wore in The Mask. Somebody stole your pajamas.
Man, I mean, I don't know. That was a weird. It was a great performance. I was kind of, you know, a little spoiled by the fact that Usher, you know, had so many hits, so they was kind of like going through it. You know, some of the songs, it was almost like that moment where everybody was gonna go crazy, but it's like, oh, next song. That I kind of, you know, but you know, what can you do? You know what I mean? What can you do?
I do feel like they mashed a couple too many, right? Like I think they could have hung out on a couple of songs. But I mean, finishing with get everybody amped back up for that second half. Like that was a good way to wrap it up.
And listen, we're gonna get into some more stuff about halftime shows on the second. So now that we're into the second hour, fellas, we're gonna get back to some football talk real quick. So let's go ahead and make sure everybody likes, shares, and subscribes to the Rec Room Sports Podcast. That's my guy Jay on the MIC. Make sure you follow him. That's Bo Crouch from Football Talk with Bo. That's Undisputed World Champ from Undisputed World Champ, the podcast, Undisputed World Champ GOAT on YouTube and Undisputed World Champ on TikTok. Make sure you follow him. So guys, football season's over, but it's way too early to talk about some of the things we got coming up next. So where should each team upgrade to get back to the Super Bowl? Opinions?
You talking the two that were in it, or are you talking each team?
The two teams. Okay,
I was gonna say because the Panthers better go select a whole new
team.
Maybe I think my Georgia Bulldogs could beat that team right about now.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. But yeah, we'll stick to just the Niners and the Chiefs right now. So, what do you think? Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. So the Niners lost. So let's talk about the Chiefs. what are the Chiefs going? What do we think the Chiefs need to do in order to retool and possibly make it a three-peat? What is it? 4 and 5 years is what it'll be pretty much. So the dynasty question out of the window. Don't even ask about it. We know it's a dynasty, but can they make it 3 and 5? Well, 3 and 4 years. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think they can. Go get Mike Evans. Go get him.
Yeah, I
Grab
mean,
the cap space. Go get him and get somebody to go alongside Rashid Rice, and slowly but surely, you might want to draft a tight end so you can slowly but surely, as Travis Kelce goes along throughout the season, start kind of phasing him out so you won't be as reliant on him as much as you are. Because right now, he's Patrick Mahomes' best friend.
On and off.
And you might want to get on that phone with Pittsburgh and see what you can get for Big O, Darnell Washington. I mean, see if they'll come up off for a third or either a fourth, considering that he hasn't done a lot this year. So, I mean, see what you can get for him. You might, with Andy Reid and a tight end like Darnell Washington, who's mobile, who can block, and the guys. I mean, he's bigger than Julius Peppers.
He's
huge. The guy's 6'8". He's 6'8", 255. Huge. So can you imagine those mismatches in the West Coast offense? So, I would get on the phone with Pittsburgh, see if I can get Darnell Washington, and I'm getting on the phone to see if I can either get T. Higgins or Mike Evans at this point. I mean, I think the main concern, because all of the defensive players, with the exception of Chris Jones, are under contract right now. So they gonna be there. Yep. But the thing is, I need another weapon, and I need another weapon, and I need another tight end, so I can slowly start phasing Travis Kelce on out, because I don't want him here when it's too late.
Thing that's funny, they could actually possibly go get Ayuk, because Niners aren't going to be able to keep him.
Well, he's not a free agent until next year.
Oh, I thought it came up this year.
No, it's not a free agent
until
next year.
Oh, okay. That's too bad, because that would have been funny.
That would have been funny. I mean, we would have had another LeBron. It would have been another Kevin Durant, LeBron James incident, except for this football, and it wouldn't have even been relatable. But I digress. But you know how social media is. Oh, yeah. They're gonna make something out of nothing. But hey, that's Patrick. I mean, but you really can't make that out of anything, because guess what? Darrelle Revis ended up going to the Patriots and playing and won a ring there. So, I mean, those rules don't apply in football. So,
win them when you can get them.
Definitely on. You might want, definitely think about some outside help. And, in the draft, of course, they're drafting 32, and then who knows what they have deeper in the draft. But, you hope they do well in the draft and still, get some help on defense. Because, let's just say, they got some freebies, going into these playoffs. Some teams kind of let them off the hook, a la, Ravens, so, definitely, getting a bit better on the outside with receivers, just upgrade somehow. Some people are talking Stephon Diggs, and trying to get, because he's not going to sign a long-term contract with the Bills or whatever, but or they're going to find some way to get rid of him. But, they can upgrade at receiver somehow, and then, the crazy thing about it is we were dealing with a team, offensively they were struggling. The defense, uncharacteristically with the last few seasons, the defense was actually, a staple, it kept it together. We're talking about years in the past where they was actually pick every game to let any team pretty much throw for like 300 to 500 yards on them, and they still, were predicted to win most games. So here we are with a team that could hold it down on defense, hold the rest of the team down, and like I say, just try and see what they can find in the draft these days, because build on that. I don't want to say that they're not, lightning is not going to strike twice, but do you really see the Chiefs having a great defense going into next season and having a top it was like 15 on offense. So defense, they were probably in the top 10,
They were a
somewhere,
top 5 defense.
top
Top
5. So, I hate to say that they're not going to be top 5 again, but definitely build on this year and keep it going with defense. And, we definitely, Chris is the biggest piece, but you got to build on what they put together. Because if they don't, they're going to be right back to 20 something in the league in the past. And, you basically got to go out there and having to go out there and score 34 points a game. It's not what you want. You want to just be able to score 34 points a game. But having to score 34 points a game is two different, those are two different things. So, I don't want that.
Well, listen, when I'm looking at some things right now. So we got cats like Josh Allen, not Josh Allen. Oh, yep, there we go. The edge rusher, Josh Allen.
Yep.
They got to sign him.
If he doesn't escape from Jacksonville, there's so many pieces where we can kind of slide him around because of how good he is. Of course, Brian Burns from the Panthers. Anybody? I don't know if anybody wants to stay in Carolina, but they might throw a check at him just to be stable there, out there on the defense. Justin Matabuke out of Baltimore, another defensive player that's going to be sliding around. Of course, Christian Wilkins from Miami. Like, the list goes on and on. So it's going to be a couple guys out there to possibly pay to be opposite of Chris Jones or somewhere near him on the interior to make that defense just a little bit more scary. What I'm thinking about is what I think that Buffalo tried to do when they got a little bit, but Buffalo packed a lot of guys in and paid a lot of checks out really quickly, and they tried to have that be the straw that broke the camel's back as far as playing Kansas City like a year or two ago, and it hasn't really panned out. But I think that this regime of front office and quarterback and player personnel cohesion could work for Kansas City, with maybe landing one, if not two of these guys on the defensive end for sure. And then and for me, somewhere in the draft, man, just like Champ mentioned, there are wide receivers that are going to be second, third round grades that you don't have to go jump for, that you don't have to go crazy for. I think we were talking about the tight end position. Anybody ever been to Iowa? There's always a tight end in Iowa for some odd reason. So let's go ahead and look there. And for me, it's not going to be as hard for the Chiefs to replicate this season as it will other teams. And once again, this is strictly based on how we have seen, just like with Chris Jones, where if it needs to be done, they find a way in Kansas City. And of course, somehow, some way, there's going to be some people that are cut or don't make the roster again. But look, you got a ring this year, man. You did it. You're forever a Chief. You'll forever be a Chief. But you gotta go next season. I'm sorry. Simple as that.
I see also, man, like the wide receivers probably getting off to a better start next season, because you have McCall Hardman that basically left the team, went to the Jets, went through that Aaron Rodgers ride, pretty much, got let go and, set free, and, ended up back with Kansas City. And, imagine if he had a whole season there, which you would have thought going into that season where he did leave to go to the Jets. I would have thought that he was going to get featured at this point with Tyreek Hill being gone, but he ended up leaving, for that check. And, normally when you leave for that check, you don't get that chance again. Like you fail miserably. You don't get a chance to go back, and not only go back, you go back and he scored a winning touchdown on a play, because I wasn't around when y'all were getting into that, but I'm kind of a little indifferent about the fact that how do you let a team score the winning touchdown on a team on a play call that everybody knows. Like it wasn't like Philly special. This was just basically a drag route. You know what I'm saying? Or however you wanna. I don't know. It was pretty simple, but the kind of let. I don't know. That would hurt me as a defensive coordinator. I let somebody win a game on a play that they won a game with, the same type of game, a Super Bowl with already, which is weird. Same player and all. It's almost something where you look at as a DC. It's like, oh, you see that personnel coming on the field, and it's like, why would I? I don't know. I don't get paid to call defenses, but I damn sure be thinking about that play. Coming in at that moment, if they were, at that distance, like, yo, look out for that play. But hey,
I'm with you on that, Jay. And I think what really hurt him was the idea of that run pass option happening where everybody bites down on the run. It's the last possible. It's a possibility that they can clear that space in the middle, and somehow, some way, he just slip right over it. Like it's one of those. Mental fatigue kind of might slip in there. Just like you said, maybe they were prepared for it. They were going 9 times out of 10, they're gonna run that ball, and literally Mahomes pulled it out at the last minute and scored a game-winning touchdown. And you're exactly right, man. That one play is probably one that they probably looked at it 1,000 times. And when it was called, it's oh my God, to win the game, I don't think they saw that coming.
On the 49ers side, like, what do you say that you need to improve when you have just about an all-pro offense, and
also a top 5 defense?
It's tough. That's tough. Of course they pick.
That special teams was hot trash, though.
Might be a reach, but hey, do you say to yourself, hey, I've tried these game manager for quarterbacks so long enough. Do I need to go ahead and just pull out all the stops at this point and go and get and move up it all the way up in the draft to go from 32 to 1 and go and get a Caleb Williams? Or do I go get a veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins? A guy who's proven. I mean, I don't know.
Proven in when the lights are hot, though.
To be honest with you, he hasn't had a team. I will say this about Kirk Cousins. He has not had a team like the 49ers around him his whole career. It's been either an offense or a defense. It hasn't been, he has not had a total package like that. And I can definitely see if they wouldn't got him doing something special like a Matthew Stafford. I can see him. If I can see anybody doing something special like that. You're surrounded. You can't. I mean, we see what he did in Washington when he didn't have as much. We saw what he did with Justin Jefferson. I mean, we saw what he did. We saw what he's capable of. I mean, the year before,
he's a stat monster, no doubt.
He's a stat monster. But like I said, so was Matthew Stafford at a certain point. So was Matthew Stafford, and much like Kirk Cousins, he had Megatron, Roy Williams, a couple of other guys, Gavitt Best for a year or so,
Golden Tate.
Yeah, Golden Tate. So we've seen things like this happen before when you surround somebody and say, okay, this is the perfect situation. This is what we brought you here for. This is it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, plus I believe, 49ers kind of did something wrong. They were supposed to, I believe if they would have got out of their own way instead of trying to go cheap, what if they would have went for it all? I mean, they would have went Carmelo and risked it all and got Aaron Rodgers before he went to the Jets. Could we possibly have a different conversation here?
Maybe.
I mean, because the thing is, y'all already had the best team money could buy. I mean, the thing was, people don't even understand this. I don't think this being talked about much. Every time somebody gets waived, a good player gets waived, a good player gets traded. 49ers are mentioned. Randy Gregory, Chase Young, just to name a few.
Hey,
I mean, so I'm like, everybody's up on the contract for at least another year.
Yep.
Go for it all. I mean, go and see what you can do. Because the thing is, hey, we saw what happened, and I hate to say this, and I hate to say it, especially being the month it is. You saw what happened with Cap. 1 year, and it's over. League caught up with you. You saw what happened with Jimmy G. 1 year, it's over. League caught up with you. Now you're seeing what happened with Brock Purdy. There's no Joe Montanas in this room. There's no Steve Youngs in this room. And you have to ask yourself to a certain extent, are they losing because they don't have one of those air specialty types in that room at this point? Because you got to remember, the 49ers of the 80s were stacked. The 49ers of the 90s were stacked. But look who was manning the controls.
Yeah.
You have arguably the best coach, one of the best offensive coaches as an offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan. You already have George Seifert there. Your quarterback room was loaded. Steve Young went down. Steve Bono, he proved to be a Pro Bowler. So is it safe to say, okay, I've went cheap for long enough? In the great words of Nas, I let it all slide for too many years. Let's see who's out here who's willing to give up the big haul. Can you imagine them saying, you know what? Get on the phone with Buffalo.
ooh.
What it's going to take to bring Josh Allen to the 49ers?
Listen,
And I will say this: take a page out of the Los Angeles Rams when they said blank them picks. I'm trying to win the Super Bowl.
That's right. Go get that ring and call it, and then pay for it after.
Yeah, blank them picks.
listen, I like where you're going with this. I like where you're going with it when you talk about it that way. If for me, it's probably to get one more offensive weapon, because I think they really love Brock Purdy. I think they are drop dead, fall out in love with Brock Purdy.
He played well enough to win that game.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't lose because of him.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like Jimmy G where he missed some plays that cost them a win. Like, he did everything he possibly could have, and where that game fell apart was abandoning the run and some special teams mishaps. Because I mean, you couldn't have asked him to play a cleaner game than he played, and he was under duress a lot. Like, he was getting smashed delivering the ball. So I mean, I don't know if I can get on board with quite that level of hate towards Purdy, only because he played well enough to win.
Yeah, he played well enough to win. But ask yourself this: if Buffalo is willing to give up, if I say, hey, Buffalo, I give you 2 first rounders, well, I give you 3 first rounders and 2 second rounders and a third, you give me Josh Allen and a 5th round pick.
Listen, they're gonna say put Brock Purdy. They're gonna say put Brock Purdy in that bag and send him, because Buffalo wants to win as well. And I think Buffalo would need the opposite, which is they don't want Superman. They want the game manager. They want the players to win in Buffalo, or they have the ability for the players to win in Buffalo. But they need
to call some running plays then.
There you go.
I mean, they got a guy from what's that school? The University of Georgia, where they just produce running backs like they produce candy. So I mean, you got a guy in James Cook that's a Pro Bowler. So
sure,
give him the ball 400 times a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the big problems with a lot of these, right? Is you got your quarterback out there having to try and play hero ball. Like, use your running game. You may not like to pay running backs, but it sure is a big key to this game.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why you don't like to use a running back just because you're going to have to end up paying them. I mean, Don't you want to play your great players and keep them on your team? I mean,
You would think so.
Maybe not running backs in this version of the NFL. Maybe not running backs. Quarterbacks.
well, the thing is, every time
they
a running
don't
back
pay
is
'em.
made it, every time you have a good running back on your team, that takes a hell of a lot of pressure off that quarterback, and you able to say, you know what, here, so.
Yep. Well, and if you go up against a good pass rush that has a good secondary, you have another option, right?
Yeah.
Because a good pass rush usually isn't great at stopping the run, right?
And
Because they're a
not
little
only
too
that-
far upfield. So
Not only that, you got to ask yourself, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I apologize.
no, you're good.
You got to ask yourself, how much of y'all asking these quarterbacks to do too much contributed to all these dabbling injuries y'all had this year?
Certainly,
You got to
a
ask
lot of
yourself
picks.
that.
I mean,
You have
it's
to ask yourself, how much did that contribute? You trying to throw the ball 40 times a game contributed to these quarterbacks' injuries, all because you don't want to go out there and toss that ball and play football like it should be played.
Yep.
That
And
ask that. We had over nine quarterbacks injured this year. And the thing about it is, you're trying to have these guys throw the ball 30, 40 times a game, and the season for every quarterback was still mid at best.
Mhm. Listen, guys, we are on track right now. Jay, did you want to chime in real quick before we go to the next one?
Just on top of that, Purdy's not a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Like Purdy's not a big 6'6" dude, 6'4" dude, anyway. Like when he's taking these hits, I'm looking like, all right, man, like he's not getting up like, all right, let's go to the next play. He's getting like pummeled into the ground, and it's like he's getting rolled up, and it's just like, damn, it's not a big guy, but that's it.
Well, with all this talk about quarterbacks, fellas, we got to ask this question. Is it way too early for this? Is it too early to put Patrick Mahomes on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks?
No, I don't think so. Can't.
He's
can't.
he's in the conversation, right? I don't know if he's on there, but he's certainly going to get mentioned in it. Like if he were to hang it up today, he probably still almost has a Hall of Fame resume.
Pretty much.
Right. So, I mean, he's going to be in that conversation. He's got 3 rings. He's got 3 MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs, I should say. He has 2 actual MVPs, like league MVPs, right? He's been a Pro Bowler, every year except his rookie year because he didn't play. He's been an All-Pro, I think, just about all those years too. So, I mean, is he going to be in that conversation? Sure. If he gets one more, I'd say he's solidly on it.
Champ, what was you thinking, brother? I see the gears turning in your head right now. Who? All right. What are you thinking? If Mount Rushmore is 4 heads, right? 4 busts. Are we now thrusting Patrick Mahomes into the 4th or 3rd slot?
I don't think he's 3rd yet, but I mean, you figure 1 and 2 is probably what? Brady, Montana. You're probably going to throw Marino in there, even without a ring. He's probably one of the purest throwers of the game. And then from there, 4th gets a little cloudy.
I would put him at 3rd. I put him at number 3.
Yeah.
I put him behind. I put him behind Montana and Brady. And I will say this to all of the guys on television. No disrespect to you, Mr. Bo. We have got to stop doing this right here. I mean, we call Tom Brady and Joe Montana the GOAT because of what?
Rings.
Super Bowls. We didn't call them the GOATs because of MVPs or individual accolades.
Yep.
We call them this because of Super Bowls.
Yep.
So at this point, he's not the GOAT. He should not even be in that conversation.
Well, I mean, but we weren't. We're on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, we just,
So there's
we're not calling him the
general.
greatest.
Yeah. No,
In
he's got
general
a long
talks,
way to
people
go.
keep talking about, he's the GOAT. No, he's not.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you got to get at least 5. I mean, you got to get at least 4 and even be in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he needs like 4 more to get in that conversation. So, Yeah, no, I agree with you there. It's way too early to be saying anything like that. But on the Mount Rushmore,
I'll put him 3 behind Montana, and then I'll go because, in my humble opinion, he has surpassed Manny at this point. I will put him past Manny.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, I
the
mean,
real
2
reason
rings.
why is because he won more with less. If you really look at that Peyton Manning offense, he had 2 Pro Bowl tight ends, a Pro Bowl at the wide receiver position, 1, 2, and 3, and 2 Pro Bowl running backs. So it's like, well, damn, you couldn't win 2 Super Bowls with that. So, and it'll take me a long time in order to tell that story. That's another story for another day. But I put it's Brady, Montana, Mahomes, and it's gaining traction. And people don't want to give a lot of other guys credit. You gotta talk about Otto Graham, even though it's old. And you got to talk about Johnny U. He's the godfather of the quarterback position. And for people not to be talking about him anymore, and people are being stat merchants and just looking at the stats, realize how much him and guys like Raymond Berry meant to this game. Without him, we're not seeing any Patrick Mahomes. So I put, it's Mount Rushmore is Tom Brady, Montana. I put Mahomes on up there, and then I put Johnny U, the godfather of quarterbacks.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. Jay, as we continue, what you got as far as the thoughts about our Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks after Patrick Mahomes has won his third?
I mean, he's definitely I would say, the bottom of that list to me. He's on the bottom of that list because, my guys and like what Bo was saying, to be labeled as, I would say, one of the best quarterbacks ever, just like Champ said as well, like, you got to start, we're talking about these Super Bowls. And, now with these Super Bowls, you're talking stats. Because now you're talking, with these stats, somebody's going to throw out a Drew Brees. Somebody's going to throw out a Aaron Rodgers. But as far as a Mount Rushmore, I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's real funny to me. Like Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and like I say, he's last. But for some reason, I would want to throw, like an old school guy out there, like a Unitas. You know what I'm saying? Or Bart Starr. You know what I mean? Like I it's where it gets kind of cloudy, just like it's the impact on the game as well. And at some point in time, imagine, if Michael Vick could have been one of those guys, if his career would have went, full, pretty much on a full ride, other than it being cut short. We never know. But it's hard to put. But the answer, yeah, definitely Mahomes is on that Mount Rushmore. But who gets on it with him is going to be. That's a hard debate. When you talk about 4 guys, I'm be honest. I think it would be fair to put 7 on there. How many? Okay, how many figures are actually on Mount Rushmore? Here we go, y'all. History was not my thing. Was it 5?
It's 4.
4 heads
It
on Mount
is 4.
Rushmore.
Is it just 4?
It is
Just
4.
Damn.
And then
When it comes to quarterbacks, man, we need 7.
now see, and then the thing is, they're putting more around Mount Rushmore right now than ever before. But there's only 4 heads as we speak on Mount Rushmore. Now, for me, I gotta somehow slide him right there at 4. And this is just for my modern day quarterback thought brain. I'm still thinking Montana. I'm still thinking Marino. I'm still thinking Brady. And then where I would probably have, and this is just for me, where I would probably put Brett Favre. We just slide Brett on out and put Mahomes in.
Oh, okay.
But but that's not a bad thing. I don't think him being fourth is negative. And the one thing I want to say is if he stays in Kansas City for the duration of his career, cool. But if he goes somewhere and he wins, oh yeah, it's over with. It's a wrap. We know what's going on. But it that's kind of because that's one of the Brady answers to the question. Did it in two different places. He might not have won the amount of Super Bowls in two different places, but he was a winner in two different franchises.
Yes.
Brett Favre was a winner in two franchises. He went to three, but he was a winner in two of them. You know what I'm saying? But and so on and so forth. But yeah, I definitely feel like that. Now we're gonna keep it going. We're getting closer to the top of that second hour, boys. So the next one is it too early to say that the 49ers have the best odds to repeat the trip to Super Bowl 59? Because right now the 49ers are up top with the odds makers in Vegas at plus 500. Kansas City is at even plus 500, which actually which went to 750 if I'm not mistaken. If that's what it is, and then the Ravens are at plus 850 to make it to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. What are we thinking?
Go ahead, Champ.
Way too early.
Way too early, but you have to ask yourself this. Who's in the NFC? I mean, who's in the NFC at this point? Because they're going to bring their whole team back.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to lose a lot of guys until year after this one. So they're not going to lose Brandon Ayuk. Not going to get away the next year unless they just say, you know what, we're tired of this is enough. We just came off a Super Bowl loss, and now you adding to it. Let's get you on up out of here. Unless they say that, he's coming back. But because and the thing is, you got to ask yourself this: who's up? Who else is there? I think that it's getting progressively worse in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
In my humble opinion. It's getting progressively worse in Dallas. It's hard for my face, but it's getting really progressively worse. It's not going to get, it's kind of like a bad cold. It's not going to get no better. And, when you think about the only team that I can really see making some noise next year outside of the 49ers is maybe the Detroit Lions because they have a lot. They're bringing back all of their guys and they have a crap load of cap space. So, there's no telling what they can bring in. So, and then you got the draft coming up. So, outside of them, I don't see really Nick Sirianni out coaching Kyle Shanahan. I don't see anybody. The only person that even has the capability in the NFC to out coach Kyle Shanahan at this point is Dan Campbell, and they're bringing back their entire team. So, the only team that I can really say in the NFC that's gonna really have it in. Wait a minute, and Sean McVay, because that team may be coming back. But as far as talent is concerned, they're the best team money could buy. Now, if they started losing players, then hey, that's a whole nother ball game. But the only team that I can really see competing with them at this point right here, as we stand, is the Detroit Lions. Because I don't think the Green Bay Packers, they're young. I don't think they're ready at this point. I think they're about another year or two away, a couple of players away. Detroit, Dallas, it's going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets a lot better. Now, they'd hired Belichick. I would say, hey, you got a chance. But it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Philadelphia, going to get a lot worse before it get any better. And, for the NFC South, it pretty much speaks for itself. The only team that I can see really coming up and competing out of the NFC West is the St. Louis, the Los Angeles Rams. Show my age again, sorry. So other than that, I don't really see another team in the NFC that's really going to be able to say, you know what, we're going to challenge the 49ers. So I can't see it. Maybe y'all can see something I don't know.
No, I'm with you. The Niners look like they have the best path to get back. And of course, it's not like I'm worried about them having that lose the Super Bowl hangover, right? Because they've been in around this game the last 5 years in a row. So, and they've come up short. They've lost a Super Bowl, and they still find themselves in the mix. So I don't see them having some drastic, drop off. And of course, to your point, they're bringing everyone back. Everyone else in this conference really is a step below what the Niners have on that roster. Can somebody beat them? Sure, right? Because it's not like it's a best of 7 or anything like that. So someone can get lucky in the playoffs, but that's what'll have to happen because they definitely have the best roster.
What you thinking, Jay?
And San Fran is definitely, I see him as a heavy favorite. When you're looking at all these teams, I mean, come on, man. We talking about this could have easily been Detroit. You know what I mean? So, with the odds, when it comes to odds, we definitely, every team comes back healthy. Every team has a chance. And then, by the time we get to week 6, week 7, it's a different landscape. So, we'll see. Right now on paper, it looks like they have a chance. But, like I said, San Fran could have easily been out of this game. And with the way quarterback play has been this season and the amount of quarterbacks that we've lost this season, can we say, we're going to see this same type of playoff vibe that we've had this season with so many teams that didn't really have a chance, actually put themselves in there or throw their name in the hat. But I don't know. San Fran, yeah, on paper, yeah, it looks like they can be there. But, and we all know it's if we see these two teams, here again in this same arena, same game, and it's another Super Bowl. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to get to that, man. For one, you talk about a team that's trying to three-peat. You know what I'm saying? But just getting back to the Super Bowl, just like Dan Campbell said, and which would have pissed me off if a coach is telling me we might never see it again. Well, why the hell we go for 2? You stupid motherfucker. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll never know, man. We will never know going into next season who has the best chance until we get about halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to go out there and win those games, right? I mean,
yeah, that's the main point, man. Who's gonna go out there and win those games? And hey, look, the odds, and this is just gonna throw it out there, of course. The odds makers never know what the teams are gonna do in the offseason. Yep. Hey, man, look, keep it real, man. Aaron Rodgers is coming back. I have no idea what that Jets team's gonna look like with Aaron Rodgers, but it dang sure looked good on paper prior to the season starting and him taking that first snap. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and first snaps, the turf monster. What? Okay. Strikes again. I swear I was like, hey, Trent Greenlaw's falling down. Why everybody tripping up? And oh my God, he was going on to the field and got hurt. I think we saw Debo try to cut. Cleat looked like it got a little stuck. He already had a bit of a injury he was battling with his hamstring. I think that hampered him a little bit. We saw George Kittle get tackled and go out in the end of like close to the middle of that overtime period. Like, is it too early to say that the NFL Players Association, who already has this complaint as number one on the docket for the summer meetings, is it too early to say that the NFL Players Association needs to step in and say, hey, bruh, everybody just need to go ahead and get some artificial grass, like the grass like that Arizona has where they wheel in a grass field every day and the grass sits outside and gets rained on and real nature takes care of it and then they wheel it in to the stadium. Is it too early for that? Because these injuries that started at the beginning of the season that had to do with turf reared their ugly head in the Super Bowl when players are just walking, trying to stride onto the field. Is it too early to say that they're going to change? That we need to make an adjustment to the fields and all around the stadium? I mean, all around the league.
So that's something that'll have to get brought up when they renegotiate, which is 2 years away. But weirdly, right, because half the fields are already grass. But what's weird about it is that directly coincides with when the World Cup comes to the U.S. and the stadiums they're all playing in are all the turf stadiums. And the requirement for the World Cup is to take the turf out and put grass in. So I would bet the NFLPA, because the grass is already going to be put in, they're going to negotiate, hey, we're putting it in anyway. You guys are going to have to figure out how to take care of it regardless. So just across the board, because, I mean, that's going to cover almost all the stadiums that already don't have grass in it.
I feel you on that. Champ, are we waiting on Jay to resurface again? What you think, man? I know you saw some of these injuries happening and players were walking and, you know, the hits looked normal, but we were losing a lot. And if the crazy part was they were all San Francisco players. You know, what do you think about the turf situation, you know, at the back end of this?
You know what the NFL Players Association has been lacking for so many years? They have really been missing Gene Upshaw. God rest his soul. They have really been missing him. Because I believe without him, a lot of the NFL owners saw that as an opportunity to strike while the knife was hot. And I don't think a lot of the players and a lot of the association itself got what it was supposed to get in a lot of situations without the great Gene Upshaw at the helm. They need a guy like Donald Fear in there. And if you don't watch baseball, Donald Fear used to be he was raw when it came to the MLB Players Association. Donald Fear was no joke. They need a guy like Don. They need the NFL Players Association needs a Donald Fear with the quickness, or because they have never ever replaced Gene Upshaw. They have not replaced him as of yet. And I believe if they were to get a person like a no nonsense person like a Donald Fear to run the Players Association, they would definitely have some grass on that field right now. Because if it was any evidence of you need some grass, look at all. I mean, and ironically, none of the running backs got hurt.
Thank you.
The guys you've been paying, the guys who've been getting these big bucks, your Madison Avenue guys, your country club guys, they the ones getting hurt.
Well, yeah, because you're not handing it off anymore. I mean, one of the best examples of that is Kirk Cousins, right? Madison is a good running back. You know, through the first 3 games, he had 19 carries.
So,
like, what are we doing? Like, why even have a guy on the roster?
But the thing is, like I said, they need a Donald Fear on their hand. And that's another, Bo, thank you, Mr. Bo. That's another situation where they need to handle. They need to see if they can take the running backs off the salary cap and see if there could be a separate cap on their own in order for those guys to get paid. Because, hell, if you're not going to have running backs getting paid, at least the top running back getting paid at least $15 million a year, then I hate to say this, because as a child, it was your dream to play running back for the league. It was your dream to play running back for college. If you keep going the way you're going and you're not paying running backs, after a while, you're going to have a lot of guys saying, hell, I want to play wide receiver.
Yep.
And you're going to have a bunch of receivers on your hands, and every college is going to be playing the run and shoot offense in a minute if you don't cut that out, and you're not going to have any running backs. So,
well, I mean, that's why San Fran almost didn't end up with Debo.
Yeah.
Right? Because they kept wanting to use him as a running back. He's like, I ain't a running back. You're going to run me like this. I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. So,
I mean, listen, the NFL has pretty much almost phased out the fullback position. So, you know, hey, you know, we gotta work. I like that idea though, where that you have right there, Champ, where the running backs could possibly be submitted to their own cap on that way the books aren't looked at the same and they could actually have some value, because this was another year in which the running backs were trying to band together to get some money, and man, it did not work. It didn't work out how they wanted to monetarily, but the players did get paid. We got to wait till next year. I want to see what Derrick Henry does with himself as he may try to acquire some more money in a new location outside of Tennessee, maybe somewhere deep in the heart of Texas, if you know what I mean. You know, that's what I'm thinking. But we'll see. Jay, you're back. You know, once again, my brother, the turf monster, the idea of playing on artificial turf. Do you like it? Did you notice the injuries that just kept happening left and right that involved players just either running and not like non-contact injuries?
Just makes you think. You know, you spent what, $2 million? This is $2 million grass, y'all. Was it $2 million? Yep, $2 million grass. So I was who knows what we were getting. I was thinking it was gonna boost some attributes, not people getting hurt still. $2 million. I mean, it is wear and tear, man. You talk about the end of a season, man, a long season. So a lot of the guys who got hurt, a few of the guys that got hurt were really already nursing injuries. So, you know, that's something to look at. And then, you know, the Greenlaw, that's tough. But it's like, you know, you're out here, these athletes, man, they train so hard, they train much harder. They're eating healthier. You know, they're putting themselves in a situation where they're defying the laws of physics. You know what I mean? When you're talking about the type of training that they're doing, these are big guys they're running, they're nimble. You know, like speed kills. Like you got these guys out here, 300, 200 some change. You could run a 4.6, 4.4, 4.5. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think happens when you say, hey, I don't want to go this way, I want to go that way? Like your body's gonna say, no, man, you can't be, you can't. Whoa, dude, you're still 300 pounds, you know? So it's you know, it's tough. It's tough when you look at sports science these days, because it's like you talk about these athletes that are training much harder, but they're not supposed to get hurt. Like,
yeah, they're bigger, they're faster. The rubber bands that hold everything together are the same size.
Yeah,
there you go.
For sure. Well, you know, that was a big topic of discussion, as you know, like I said, with a couple of people that shows I was watching. I wanted to make sure I brought that up. But we're gonna keep it light because we're getting closer to the top of that second hour, boys. I think we're doing great. Once again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We got Football Talk with Bo here, undisputed world champ over there, Jay on the MIC over here. And this is a good one. I like this one. Is it too early to name Lil Wayne as the headliner for Super Bowl 59 halftime show? I mean, it's in New Orleans, folks. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Is it too early for us to say Weezy F-Baby headline halftime show? And let's think about it before we answer the questions. Weezy got pop songs. Weezy, BG is free now. We could maybe put the Hot Boys on stage all at one time. You know, he got songs with Nicki Minaj. You could Young Money. We could bring Drake in this. You know what I'm saying? Drake in New Orleans. Come on, guys. What y'all think? Lil Wayne, New Orleans, 2025. What you think?
Hey,
man, I don't see that happening, man.
No.
Wouldn't sound good, man. It sounds good, but
it does, but that ain't gonna be a real thing.
They gave it to Drake. They gave it to Dre in California. You know what I'm saying?
They did, but they weren't gonna bring, you know, Nicki Minaj and.
Come on, think about it.
They'd have to radio edit the whole show.
yeah. Get the juices flowing. He could do a Millie. He could do.
let her play Super Bass. I mean, Super Bass wasn't a bad song, you know.
Super Bass.
I'm
You know
not
what
saying
I'm
any of
saying?
them are bad song. I'm saying on national television you're going to run into some problems.
We had,
No, Super Bass don't have a lot of
No,
cussing in it. You
no,
know?
that's true.
Just think about 2 years ago, we had 50 Cent Upside Down.
That is true. You
we
are
had
not wrong.
we had Eminem, you know, we had Eminem. We could make some radio edits, bro. I think that it'd be a great show. And of course, nobody knows this, but I do. Lil Wayne is a skater. They could put a half pipe out there. We saw Usher skating on roller
Nah,
skates.
okay,
We
you
can get,
you
no, we
nah,
can get
you
Tony
trying to
Hawk
get this man
on a
killed.
half
I
pipe
didn't
doing
get
tricks
the memo.
behind.
This was a
Weezy.
drinking show. Like I could have been I could have been throwing one back too.
Man, listen, Weezy, Drake, Tony Hawk on a half pipe, Travis Barker on the drums, Nicki Minaj. Like I'm telling you, I got it all up here. It's all up here. I'm telling you, and it'll be and then at the end we get the Hot Boys all on stage at one time. It'll blow everybody's mind. It'll blow everybody's mind. I'm telling you, man.
Come on. This was a good show, which means next year it's going to be weak. Like it's going to be something you don't want to see.
I mean, they're gonna find a way to incorporate some type of New Orleans mark, because of course it's in February. Everybody
It's
knows
gonna be
February.
Harry Connick Jr., man.
Harry Connick Jr.
You know what? I take that back. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be some mumble rap, because then you won't know if they curse.
Yeah, there you go.
And
And it doesn't even matter which one you get because they all sound the same.
I'm gonna be grilling at halftime. I will not be watching that.
Like, how are you gonna have mumble rap and use the exact same cadence? Like, I mean, even if you're gonna do it, could you mix it up a little bit?
No, they gotta sound the same. They gotta sound the same, bro. Gotta sound the same.
Oh man.
You're gonna do something like hate messages in the side here.
Yeah, no. Everybody's at least agreeing with you on the mumble rap, because
man, it's rough.
No mumble rappers out here somewhere. Mm-hmm. All right, so boom, don't forget, everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know who you think is going to win next year's Super Bowl. For Super Bowl 59. It's way too early, but tell us who you think is going to win it. That's what the segment was all about. Pretty much everybody, man. Bo, what you got going on for the rest of the week, guy?
Let's see. Well, I mean, football's over, so my schedule's gonna calm down a little bit, and mostly, let's see, the rest of the week I'm just gonna do my final pick'em show, because we crowned the champion, which this guy right here, I back-to-back pick'em champ, so that's cool. But then other than that, just the Roku TV thing.
That's what's up. Hey, listen, don't sleep. I'm gonna tell y'all what my next idea is in just a second. Champ, what you got going on for the rest of this week, brother?
Hey, Vanity Sports tomorrow with my guy Casual, doing the football recap tomorrow at 10 o'clock on YouTube live. Not to mention Sports PSP podcast this Friday at 9. Tune in. I will not be airing my show this week due to some scheduling issues. I mean, I've been doing Super Bowl recap shows all week, so I shut down my show this week so I can do it. So, hey, man, always an honor to be on this show with some of the all-time greats, man. Always an honor to be on here, man. So, hey, man, thank y'all for always bringing me back. Always a privilege and a pleasure.
Jay, man, what you got going on this week, bro?
Hey, man. Obviously, there are some there's some inspecting that needs to be done. I would like to know anybody who knows the young lady. I'm sure her name is gonna come out. Who who did the pole stage dive. Wow. But nah, as far as doing the rec room, I would say the month of April is our month. Yeah, you know what I mean? So the month of April, man, is gonna be pretty special, man. We're gonna be doing, just different things, still talking sports. but you know, we're gonna go back to the old Rec Room show to some extent. So, you know, be on the lookout for that, man. But you know, Rec Room all across all platforms. You know what I'm saying? We're giving out to the kids, man. It's about the kids, it's about sports, it's about fans, it's about you know, just going out and enjoying yourself. And the month of April, I think we're gonna be doing that with. Don't you think? You don't think so? You think so? I know I will.
I'm with it.
You know,
Yeah.
coming. It's coming.
And for me, let's just keep it funky. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I ain't got nothing going on. Y'all want to see a real fight? Let me do the wrong thing for Valentine's Day. That's a real Super Bowl. Saturday, me and Bikins is married. Okay, Bikins ain't doing nothing for the rest of the week. Okay, that's how real it is. Okay, so me and Bikins will be doing head kicks and haymakers from the kitchen table Saturday morning / afternoon, because of course Bikins is about 2 hours behind me. We will be previewing the UFC pay-per-view for the weekend, so don't forget to catch us early. Early morning his time, early afternoon our time, and then we go right back at it. Now, boys, this was the thought. This was the thought. You guys are my football aficionados, my football crew. We're gonna cover some spring ball. I don't know. We're gonna get into some arena, some UFL, because the Rock's got the UFL rocking off right now. He's doing I think the Rock is really doing the WWE to kind of pair more into saying, well, after I do that, I can ride off into the sunset. Y'all can watch me in an owner's box at the UFL. So just let's pay attention to that. And
the way they did the UFL, I don't think it's going to be around long enough for him to do that.
Hey,
I mean, to Bo's point, they did the same. They basically history. You can always learn more from previous history than you can the present, because history always repeats itself.
Yep.
The only difference was a certain owner. Won't say any names because we don't want to get political. This is a sports show. Yep. The only difference is there was another name who merged the league back when it was the old USFL. So now you just did the same thing they did, except you just expedited after a year.
Well, the thing that I think actually ruins this league is they got rid of both coasts. They made it a regional game. They got rid of the Vegas team. They got rid of the Seattle team. They got rid of Florida, Jersey, Philly. Like, how are you going to get rid of large market teams? And you got 4 teams in Texas.
Yeah.
You went from what could have been 16 teams to merging 2 8 teams to then have one 8-team league. And then you got rid of both coasts. Like, this is the dumbest platform I think I've seen.
And we're going to get into it, and I think a lot of what you guys got going on, what you guys just said, is very, very innovative. I think a lot, and I'm not going to give away my thoughts because I wrote some of it down, but I think a lot of it is monetarily. They're making deals to have the playing fields, because they did it last year, be in universally 1 or 2 areas, so that they all the teams in Texas can play in Alabama. All the teams in Florida could play in Orlando. You see what I'm saying? Like,
no, they do have their own fields.
Yeah, but they're gonna be they got good places for them to play prospectively based on money. You know what I'm saying? Like, based on money.
But I mean, they're gonna do the XFL route, so everyone will have their own stadium.
Oh, okay, not like okay, well,
not USFL.
Yeah, not like the USFL. So then we still got to watch how this is done monetarily. I don't know, but I've done some research. I've seen some other podcasts, stuff about it. I want to talk about it. Plus, I may have a little bit of some good news going on with the Jacksonville Sharks down here. So I'm going to be working around to see about that with the IFL, with the Indoor Football League, because they're the 4-time champs of the IFL, the Jacksonville Sharks. So shout out to them. And man, I think we did great, boys. But guess what? You know where's the button at, Jay? Is it still there? Is it still there?
Did I move it on you or something, man? I'm sorry.
Man.
Well, while you look for that, if you want some fun reading, watch what they're doing with the two Houston teams for the USFL and XFL, because both of them had a Houston team. Read about how they're merging them, because it's really dumb.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we definitely got to look into that, Bo, because if anybody knows, Bo knows. Check this out, though.
I wish you had more time.
Hey guys, man, I'm telling you, I had a ball. We enjoyed the Super Bowl. I enjoyed y'all. But once again, man, it's J on the MIC, is my guy, Football Talk with Bo. It's the undisputed world champ. We are here once again, man. Rec Room Sports. We enjoyed y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We're gonna be out the door with this one, though, baby.